Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our financing update series here on Porcupine Real Estate's YouTube channel. And we have today with us Chris Nadeau from Lakeview Mortgage to answer a few questions that you may have heard or you've heard about in regards to financing. So today we're going to talk about seller concessions. Chris, when somebody says there are seller concessions with your transaction, what does that mean?
It's a great question, and we're starting to see this come back into the marketplace a little bit. Seller concessions are literally funds that the seller is contributing to help pay towards the buyer's closing costs, points, and or prepaid items as part of the sale. So if I were to pick simple numbers, let's say someone had $12,000 in closing costs, overall closing costs. Closing costs, that number is not just closing costs. About half of it is what's called prepaid items, things that you're just paying that are part of the loan, paying any taxes that are due, paying a full year of homeowners insurance, getting the escrow account set up to pay the taxes and insurance through the mortgage. Those are prepaid items. And so those things combined can easily hit $12,000, $15,000. So the seller can contribute a portion of the sale towards those funds. And depending on the type of loan someone is doing, that will depend on how much the seller can contribute. If they're doing conventional financing at 5% down, the seller can contribute up to 3% of the sales price. If it's 10% down or more, or if it's a government insured loan like FHA or VA or rural development, then they can contribute up to 6% of the sales price. It can't exceed what the closing costs and prepaid items are, but they can pay for all of them up to 6% of the sales price.
And so who would typically ask for concessions? Is that the seller or the buyer?
The buyer definitely has to ask for it in the offer. So if you were putting an offer in, let's just say even numbers, 500,000 with 15,000 back, you would literally have to put in the offer that says an offer of 500,000 with the seller contributing 15,000 towards the buyer's closing costs, points, and or prepaid items. That way it's covered. In the seller's eyes, they just took an offer of 485 because they're going to lose 15,000 off the top. So your agent, Dominic, can help you structure this the best, where sometimes you may come in over the asking price or under, and it's extremely property specific. So that's why you need a good agent to help you structure the deal specific to that property.
And why wouldn't someone just come in at the closing price or the offer price of 485 instead of doing 500 with $15,000 concessions?
So that extra 15,000, if we're using that for a number, that is going to be due at closing in addition to the down payment. So the reason you're doing that is basically to keep money in your pocket.
Okay. Makes sense to me. So one trend that we are seeing now with the market, I hate to say slowing down, but it's definitely shifting a little bit, is some sellers are actually putting closing concessions in the listings. So that's something that we want to be keeping an eye out for. Would you say the dollar amount or a percentage, or what is more common? Have you seen anything along those lines?
Most people do a dollar amount just because it's a finite number. If you're in a situation where your closing costs are more than what you can get back, like let's say you're doing a conventional loan at 3% down or 5% down, and your closing costs are 13,000, but the purchase price is 325. That's a case where I would recommend asking for the percentage back. That way, you'll get the absolute maximum in case there is any negotiations in the offer price.
Okay, I think that kind of sums up the whole closing cost concessions. And then the only other thing I would say is another thing we want to cover is something about points at the closing table as well, which is another topic altogether. And look forward to another video coming soon.
Yes, let's do that, because the industry jargon can be very confusing.
Especially with the interest rates getting so high, it's something that everybody's doing to try to look to how to decrease that interest rate.
Yes.
So if anybody wants to get in touch with Chris about further questions regarding any of this, his email address is at the bottom of the screen right now. And any other way you'd prefer them to contact you, Chris?
Phone is definitely the best. Please call me at 603-582-5626. Thank you.
Feel free to reach out to me with any questions as well. I will probably refer you to Chris, though, just as a heads up. All right, everybody, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.